Princess Bari is a mid-carry solo goddess that does so much damage. She's intimidating for new players because of how many things she does in kit, and has so many different builds when you watch different players play her. Plus, she has so many different ways people say to play her. But she's really kind of simple in terms of how she plays. So let me, a Grandmaster Smite 1 player and a Demigod Smite 2 player, help you grasp the character. Before we start though, let me remind you that this is a beta, so things are subject to change. If Bari or any other god gets significant change, I will remake this guide for you. Also, I hit 1k subs, so I'm doing a Q&A. Go to my Odin video and comment questions there. I'll give you until the 16th. It says the 9th in the Odin video, but I'll give you until the 16th. With that out of the way, let's begin. I want to say before starting that Bari does magical damage. Despite her being positioned as a carry god, she does magical damage. Bari's passive, Mystic Surge, replaces her mana with Spirit. Spirit is a resource you gain by dealing damage to enemies. Once you gain 100 Spirit, you enter the Mystic Surge for 5 seconds. Within those 5 seconds, your first non-ultimate ability will have no cooldown, and will have a bonus effect, which I will talk about for each ability. You gain bonus stats in this state based on the rank of your ultimate. Bari's first ability, Sacred Bell, is a bell, ring ring, that does damage where it lands. You can use it to throw it on the ground and do damage, and use your 2 or 3 to push the bell to deal damage and slowing enemies hit in the path. While in Mystic Surge, if the bell is thrown, the push will stun enemies hit. The bell will also increase in size when used in Mystic Surge. You can only have a maximum of 3 bells out at a time, though that is very difficult to have happen. Bari's second ability, Warding Gusts, is a cone that will knock back enemies who are close to you. If you have a bell within basic attack range, you will pull the bell towards you before shooting it out in a path. If you use this ability in Mystic Surge, you will grab the ball and throw the bell, and the bells are treated as Mystic Surge bells, amplifying them and stunning. Bari's third ability, Reverent Steps, is a dash that has a rectangle in front of it. This rectangle does damage. This ability is the one you're going to want to max first. It is absurd early game damage, and you can play for kills with this dash and max Spirit. Trust me on this. The amount of damage that this does is going to be absurd, and you're not going to expect it. The enemy that's hit by it isn't going to expect it. Trust me. Any bells pushed by a Mystic Surge enhanced Reverent Steps are treated as Mystic Surge bells. While dashing, you have no backpedal or strafing penalty. I've explained these penalties before, but essentially in Smite 2, you move the fastest most of the time when you are walking forward in a direction you are facing and doing nothing. Basic attacking and walking in a direction differently than where you are looking slows you down. While using this dash, you ignore those penalties. When you hit an enemy god with this dash, you reduce its cooldown by 25%. I think this is bound to Mystic Surge, but I'm not sure because the ability doesn't specify that, and I wasn't paying attention when I was playing her. Bari's ultimate, Spirit's Cadence, is a big circle that does damage in pulses. There are 3 pulses, the last of which does more damage than the first 2. These pulses apply a slow that stacks. Allies and you gain Guarding Spirits for 4 seconds. Leaving the circle starts this timer. You cannot regain this buff after you gain it on that cast of Spirit's Cadence. If you die with Guarding Spirits on you, you become damage immune, silenced, and disarmed for 1.5 seconds. And you restore health. How much health do you restore? I don't know. It doesn't say, and that pisses me off a lot. Casting Spirit's Cadence immediately puts you in the state of Mystic Surge, regardless of your spirit level. Bari does the same thing, but in 3 or maybe even 4 rolls. That thing is damage. I recommend staying towards the ones that I said before at the start of the video, those being mid, solo, and carry. Carry and mid being the 2 safer ones. But if you want to get spicy and take her into the jungle, I'm sure it can work. I've seen it work before, but that's also in the high-level lobbies. In the early game, you want to play for kills around your spirit, specifically that double dash. It is so much damage. I cannot understate how much damage that is. People do not expect how much damage you do, and personally, it is absurd, and you should definitely play around it. I recommend going Warrior's Axe as your starter item in the 3 roles I recommended, solely because carry starter items suck. She doesn't benefit enough from the mage ones either, so Warrior's Axe is your best bet. Remember, when you play as her or against her, she does magical damage. Despite whichever way you build, building strength, building intelligence, whatever you do, you are doing magical damage. As of this video is released, I prefer the crit build because magical damage crits are stupid and they don't have a true countermeasure, which is why magical damage carries building crit, Agni and Bari, are so strong. However, as always, I recommend going to Smite2.live. I'll link the section below where you'll see what the top players are building, organized by role and patch, and you can take what you like from there. She has so many good ways to build her, and I can't really recommend one. Her no die button, as in her ultimate, is a good tool that allows you to save yourself and your teammates. However, don't only use it for that. It is good damage, and the steroid in a fight can really change it for you. So let me know if this guide helps. If it did, please consider liking and subbing. It's free, and you can always unsub later. Other than that, though, peace. And remember the Q&A.